I would say that the official statement is neutral. The chairman's statement is, at least the one that he gave before the press conference, somewhat hawkish. Responses to the questions, it seems to me, were the most hawkish. Now, was this deliberate that the written words initially that is just put on the Fed website is a little more neutral than the ones that he says in response to various questions? Probably it's a strategy. So therefore, we can pick and choose. There are parts of the statement, as you say, with respect to balance sheet, is neither here nor there. But with respect to two areas, I would say it's a big departure from anything that the Fed has said in recent meetings. Number one is that this cycle is different from the past cycles because of the underlying inflation and wage conditions. And the second is that there's this refusal to sort of categorically rule out something that the Fed has not done in many, many years and over many cycles, which is 50 basis points rate hike. Keeping those things on the table, in my view, is a rather stark hawkish signal.
All right, just very quickly to end then, you said that this is an environment of weaker equities. How weak? Are you going towards the Jeremy Grantham side of major crash?
It is, beyond my capacity to make short-term projections on the equity market, but we can look at very good, long-term studies of the relationship between yield gap and long-term returns to equity markets. And also price earnings ratio, if it is very high today, what does it mean for the next 10 years equity returns? So 10 years ago, where the price earnings ratio of S&P 500 stood, where the Case-Shiller, the CAPE stood, you could tell that a decade of very strong returns was coming. And that regularity spans over decades. Today, given that fact that, even after the last few weeks sell-off, we're talking about CAPE at greater than 30 at historically high levels, that points to mid-single-digit returns over the next decade. That's the one thing that I can say that's based on data as opposed to my hunch or gut feeling.